When people in the modern world think of ancient Egypt, they often think of Tutankhamun, one of the civilization's many kings. Much of the fascination with Tutankhamun is specifically because of the discovery of his body in the early 1920s, and the story of this discovery is a fascinating tale of history in its own right. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Britain was the most powerful country in the world due to its enormous global empire. It was filled with intellectual curiosity about ancient Egypt, as the British were obsessed with comparing themselves to the powerful global empires of yesteryear. One of those interested was Lord Carnarvon, a peer and man of extraordinary wealth, as he was the husband of Almina Herbert, the illegitimate daughter of banker Alfred de Rothschild, who was one of the richest men in the world. Carnarvon was an extremely passionate Egyptologist, and he funded excavations in the country for a number of years at the beginning of the 20th century, as he wanted the world to discover more about ancient Egypt. In 1907, Carnarvon hired archaeologist Howard Carter to look for Egyptian treasures and artifacts on his behalf. After some early successes, by 1922 Carnarvon was getting frustrated by the lack of major finds. That November, however, Carter's luck began to change when one of his workers discovered a step in the rock of the desert that proved to be part of a stairway. Sensing that something epic was about to be discovered, Carter told Carnarvon to get to Egypt as soon as he could. When Carnarvon arrived 2 weeks later, he did so to see the tomb of Tutunkhamun, an Egyptian king who was mostly known before then for pushing the state religion towards the polytheistic form. Upon investigation of the tomb of this king, Carnarvon asked Carter if anything was visible to him, and Carter famously replied, "Yes, wonderful things." When they eventually dug to and entered the tomb itself, what was discovered was one of the most significant finds in world history. The tomb's contents included chariots, chests, thrones, and shrines, as well as the body of Tutankhamun. Ultimately, over 5,000 items were discovered in the tomb. It was additionally guarded by two life-size sculptures of Tutankhamun himself, and eventually the archaeologists looked to unseal the coffin in February 1923. When opened, Carter was greeted with the now iconic golden mask of Tutankhamun. The discoveries stirred up a new wave of Egyptomania around the world, particularly in Europe and the United States. When Carnarvon died the next year, there was a rush in the contemporary media to put this down to a curse that had somehow been awakened by digging around Tutankhamun's body. With that said, there is no evidence that those involved suffered earlier deaths on average. Carter continued to look at the tomb over a number of years and catalogued over 5,000 items from it. The discovery of the body led to all manners of discovery about ancient Egypt. Tutankhamun's cultural impact has been massive, with his being the figure many of us associate more with ancient Egypt than perhaps any other figure. In addition, newer technologies have been used to discover more about the body since its original find. In 2010, for example, researchers were able to find traces of malaria on the body and suggested that as a potential cause of the king's deaths. Carter's discovery was therefore only the beginning in the research around Tutankhamun's story, and that of ancient Egypt. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. That would really help me out. Thank you.